Sports fans, our new mobile app has dropped. It's an incredible experience and a whole new way to interact with me and the rest of the BBallBreakdown community. You can add your own content in the timeline with posts, GIFs, texts, and messages. Plus, read all of our fantastic articles. Brain, a great way to train the mental side of sports, which we've gone over time and again how important it is. So check it out. There were a lot of things going on when the Cavaliers visited the Spurs last night, but distill it down to its essence and we see two major runs by the Spurs that decided the outcome. To start both the third and fourth quarters, we can see where this game turned. And when you're playing at this high a level, these games change on only a few possessions. The Spurs had trailed the entire game up until midway through the third quarter when they went on an 11-0 run to take control of the game. The Cavaliers had their starting lineup on the floor, and over the season, this five-man group is 13th in net rating. However, the Spurs know how to exploit weaknesses with their ball movement and spacing. Trailing by 8 points, the Spurs break into one of their most familiar sets, the loop for Tony Parker. This is defended quite well by Kyrie Irving, up until the point Irving lets him into the middle. The Cavs don't seem to ice pick and rolls very often, but here's an example of what happens when you let the ball get to the dotted line. Of note, Kevin Love is ineffective in his help. I actually like that he steps up at Tony, but I think he could have at least gotten his hand up as a challenge without losing ground to Tim Duncan. Up next, Parker dribbles to the wing. Green screens for Duncan, which forces Love a lot lower than he wanted to be. Again, Irving is playing this as if there will be a hedge from Love. J.R. Smith breaks off from his assignment to pick up Parker, which is okay if he had communicated this. However, check out the weak side. LeBron James is walking around, not in his stance, and his simple swing pass allows more middle penetration. Kevin Love is in perfect position to step up and help. Instead, he remained too low the entire time. I like Thompson's contest. Had Love been where he should have been, this pass doesn't get to Duncan and they could have prevented the layup. On the LeBron miss, Kawhi snatches the rebound and pushes the ball, which forces a mismatch. No other team is as quick at exploiting these kinds of cross matches than the Spurs, and they had an idea to get Kawhi on Kyrie, but instead opt for LeBron on Aldridge in the post. LeBron does an excellent job taking away the attack, but as the clock winds down, J.R. Smith foolishly gets his hand caught in the cookie jar. The clock was almost expired, and he should have just put his hand straight up. After another miss, the Spurs push to the wing for an inside pick and roll. Notice again how poorly the defense plays this. Kyrie allows Parker to turn into the middle of the court. Thompson drops back and is left flailing in a futile attempt to stop LaMarcus Aldridge's bread and butter shot. Off the inbounds, the Spurs run simple flex offense to post up Aldridge on the left block. J.R. Smith, in the most J.R. Smith play imaginable, foolishly helps one pass away off a guy who's having one of the best three-point shooting seasons we've ever seen. Can you hear me shaking my head? The next huge run happened to start the fourth quarter, and Coach Blatt had a lineup out there that had been a nightmare for them all season long. Although this lineup hasn't been used that often, you can see that defensively they've been horrible, and last night was no different. With two starters in the lineup for the Spurs, just watch the quick player movement that creates gaps in the defense. This leads to David West at the pinch post, and I'll give credit to Mozgov. This is good defense, just better offense. On the next possession, Slow-Mo pushes into a quick screen and roll, which forces the switch. It makes no sense that Jefferson would give West this much room. This top of the key shot has been where West has made most of his money in his career, and Jefferson wouldn't get beat off the dribble here, yet gives him 5 feet of space. Having retaken the lead again, the Spurs waste no time picking on Mozgov with a high ball screen. I'd say Mozgov comes up a step and a half too high. But look at this burst of speed from Parker into a quick jump inside hand layup. Mozgov was a fingernail slow getting there and gets the goaltending call. Imagine if he'd been back just a little bit farther initially. On the next possession, Kyrie tries to split the defense, but look at this effort by Parker to swipe and get the ball as he's falling down. On the push, ideally, Shumpert would have run out to Green while Mozgov sprinted back to guard the lane. But either way, this is a good contest by Mozgov. However, he tried to get away with a little tap to the chest, and both refs were on top of it, giving Green 3 free throws. Coach Blatt gets Love and James back in there in a hurry, but on the deli miss, Mills pushes the pace. On the drag screen by Duncan, watch his man Kevin Love not understand the situation. With one of the best shooters in the team coming around, Love has to absolutely be at the three-point line. Thompson is in perfect position to pick up Duncan rolling, yet Love stays in no man's land, and Mills has a wide open three. And finally, the Spurs run the loop from Manu out of the sideline out of bounds, and Kawhi gets the secondary action of his own pin down. Now we've got what we've been waiting for, LeBron on Kawhi. And Kawhi makes LeBron look like a statue as he blows right by him. And guess who could have been in position had he known where the ball was? We get the gorgeous lefty finger roll at the rim, and while this game was effectively over from this point on, we did get this vicious slam when LeBron failed to account for his man and Kawhi just destroys the rim to put an exclamation point on the victory.